Yeah, thank you so much for having me again. The first time I presented with 1 million cups a few months ago, I hadn't even tested my first sample, so it's just super exciting to be able to provide you with an update. So for those of you that are not familiar with Portrett Pharmaceuticals, I am going to go through a quick overview of who we are and what we do and kind of how we want to impact Wilmington and the pharmaceutical industry in general. Then I'm going to go over kind of currently where we are and where we want to go. Oh, it's not working. You know, click. All right. So Portrett Pharmaceuticals is a contract testing laboratory that performs analytical testing for drug discovery companies like Pfizer and Gilead. We perform the testing that the companies need to for their regulatory submissions to FDA as well as other government agencies throughout the world. Our long-term goal is to eventually manufacture or synthesize the drugs along with the testing that goes along with it. But kind of why are we wanting to do this? I kind of got into this ultimately to impact people's lives. First, I want to impact employees' lives by providing them not only professional development, but personal development. I also want to impact the lives of the people in the community of Wilmington by creating jobs and giving back to Wilmington through monthly community service projects, as well as supporting other local businesses here in Wilmington. And then we also want to impact our clients' lives by providing them a wow service. Prioritizing customer service and quality is our goal. And that's the way that we're going to set ourselves apart from our competitors. And finally, I want to impact the patients' lives, by helping get these groundbreaking drugs onto the market is going to help patients have a better quality of life or even potentially be cured. Next slide. So in an effort to kind of help you guys understand where Portrett fits into the pharmaceutical space, I want to briefly describe how the industry works and where Portrett fits in. And we're going to use Pfizer and the vaccine as kind of an example. So hopefully everybody will be able to relate. So Pfizer decides that they want to develop a vaccine for COVID. So they do some in-house work, but ultimately they contract a testing laboratory to develop the actual vaccine. So that's denoted here on the picture as drug substance. So that's the active ingredient, the thing that's actually working. So then they contract another laboratory to put that into a drug, a dosage form. So how it's administered. In the case of the vaccine, it's an injectable. It could be a tablet or a capsule or other modes of administration. And then after that they take the formulated drug product and send it to another contract laboratory to perform the clinical trials on the patients. So Portrett Pharmaceuticals lives in the drug substance space, so we're kind of at the beginning of the process. A company that you guys would be familiar with that live in the drug product space would be Alchemy. And a company that lives in the clinical space that you guys are familiar with would be PPD. So we all work together to get the product from start to the market. And so kind of to give you an idea on the funding side of things, so Pfizer and other drug discovery companies, they have to raise millions and millions of dollars to pay all these contractors like myself, as well as regulatory fees and just the requirements that it takes. And unlike the vaccine, this process typically takes 10 to 15 years from drug discovery to actually being on the shelf in the pharmacy. So, so that's why they have to have all this seed funding. Portrett Pharmaceuticals is a fee-for-service type company. So the funding that we need is on a much smaller scale. So it's tens of thousands, not millions of dollars to get us up and running. So this kind of tells you how this So where are we wanting to go? This is kind of our roadmap. So we started with 250,000 of personal investment of my own. So we're currently in phase 1. So what we're focusing on this year is establishing a good customer base and, just providing high volume, quick testing, getting our foot in the door with our current customers. So in phase 2, which would be next year, we're wanting to increase our services to our clients by adding additional instrumentation offerings, additional testing services. By 2025, we want to be outgrown, to have outgrown our laboratory space at the Marbionic facility, and we hope to be building a new building, which will allow us to actually manufacture some of these drugs. And once we get to $1 million of monthly sales, our goal is to commercially manufacture these APIs, and additionally add more and more testing, instrumentation, and testing offerings. It's kind of where we are now.
Next one. Oh, sorry.
So we are currently in a laboratory lease space in the Marbionic facility. We currently have 2 clients, and we have 1 full-time employee other than myself. We have a quality consultant, various instrumentation that that's actually a picture of the lab space there on that second picture. Our projected revenue for this year is $600,000. We do have a little bit of debt with some equipment financing. So kind of our next steps, kind of what we want to accomplish. We're in need of clients, lots of clients. Client acquisition has been a very challenging portion of getting this business up and running. So we're really focusing on our social media marketing plan, past relationships, as well as attending conferences to kind of get our name out there, kind of brand awareness type stuff. Once we're able to obtain some additional clients, we are going to invest in some small, inexpensive equipment that will actually allow us to be a little bit more well-rounded for our clients, as well as being able to provide additional services for them. But ultimately, our biggest immediate need right now is cash flow. So as a new business, cash flow right now is pretty much non-existent, but we're making it. So we are pursuing equity capital through various sources. So that's Portrett Pharmaceuticals. So we will field any questions.